Hi, talking to you today on a beautiful, beautiful autumnal morning. A great day for anything sporty like cycling or walking or playing tennis. Uh, it's a lovely day anyway. So I thought I would read some of Engaging NLP and EFT for Sport because it's a new book and you've heard me talk about it before on my podcast. But I don't think I've actually read anything out from it. And I just think you might find it interesting. And I'm actually reading from the first chapter, which is actually about how NLP is relevant for sport and actually for life and all aspects of life. But I think particularly for something like sport. So I'm going to start with the N of neuro-linguistic programming. The N is the neuro, which is all about the mind. This is how you can harness the power of your mind to become a champion. You can improve what you already do so it works even better, more consistently, with more power and higher performance. Consistency is something I always struggle with. Always. Oh my goodness, what a generalization. I often struggle with consistency with my tennis, sometimes doing a fantastic serve or getting a great shot in or a lovely backhand. But unfortunately, it isn't consistent. So, yes, consistency, power, focusing on what you can improve on. And importantly, stop doing what isn't working well and do something else which does. And I just gave you an example of something that one should stop, and that is generalizing. The always, the never, the no one, the everyone. Stop doing what isn't working, but we'll come to that shortly. So, we're going to find out how your mind works both for you and against you and take back control of it. So, what is NLP? The letters stand for neuro-linguistic programming. So, neuro is everything that goes on in our head. It's those thoughts, those feelings, those memories, those experiences, the beliefs, what we think is true, and then the facts, what actually is true. Fears and all those what ifs. We all have them. Own up, we all have them, don't we? Let's start with thoughts. Think of an unhelpful thought that you sometimes have before you do your sport. It's likely to be negative, even perhaps a little bit unkind, and something you'd never say to a friend. And in the book, it's a workbook, like a lot of my books, because I believe in sort of active learning. So I wouldn't last 5 minutes in a school, would I? I need to be moving or doing something, writing something, talking about it. Anyway, enough of that. So yes, there's an opportunity in the workbook to write down those unhelpful thoughts. This is only true if you let your mind believe it. You're basically predicting the future and expecting it to be negative. Control your controllables. This is something my eldest said to me many, many years ago, probably when she was sort of in her 20s. It wasn't that long ago, but it seems like a long time because honestly, I have been quoting it constantly ever since. Control your controllables. A better thought would be, and I've suggested that you write that down. So think about what a better thought would be. What would be a more helpful thought just before you play your sport? Now, you can control that. So change it. Change it to a better thought. Change it to a helpful thought. It might help you to think, if my friend said this, what would I say to them to make them feel better? And then write that new thought there. Let's make a list. I expect there are some really unhelpful thoughts that you sometimes have. Now is your chance to get rid of them forever. Now rewrite those unhelpful thoughts with ones that will empower and inspire you to play your best game. Next, let's look at feelings. It's natural to feel nervous, worried, fearful, panicked. After all, there can be huge pressure from those around you. So even if you didn't have these feelings before, you can pick up another team member's anxiety I worked with a young golfer actually who found that that's exactly what he did. He'd leave home and his mum would drop him off. He would play he'd go to be playing his golf, and he was really calm, very excited, looking forward to it. But when he was chatting to his friends, he picked up all of their anxiety, and by the time he was playing, he was a bag of nerves really. But luckily NLP was able to help him with that. So name a feeling you sometimes get before an event, a feeling you don't want to have, and then write that down. I feel whatever. Let's look around for a good feeling to replace it. Think hard and look in that part of your mind that stores those great memories and experiences. For example, that time when my coach told me, when I won, when that new move paid off, and this probably sound a bit silly if you're not looking at the at the book, but I'm sure you can get the gist. So we can create an anchor there. Anchoring is an NLP technique we use to link something good with an action that we make. So here's how we set up the link or the anchor. So read out one of those good experiences or good memories you thought of, and at the same time do the action that you've chosen. So it may be like squeezing an earlobe, it might be a thumbs up, it might be sort of stamping your foot a little bit on the ground. So if it's something that you're doing like on the football pitch or on the tennis court or something, or running, you might be able to use some action like that to anchor this good thought so that it's readily available to you. And then you repeat it until you've actually got that link really solid. The idea is that you do the action and say the good memory, so you create a link. Then when you next get that feeling you don't want, you do the action to replace it with the good feeling. So we talk about that later. And we look at beliefs and facts. A belief is something you hold to be true in the moment. It isn't a fact. It's something that you believe to be true in the moment. I'm sure we've all had that feelings. I mean, just to give you a fairly trivial example, I guess, you might look at the sky and say, it's going to rain. Well, that's not necessarily a fact. It might be actually a lovely day and a cloud's just gone over. It's a belief in that moment. I mean, something like believing in Father Christmas or the Tooth Fairy, believing that you're right when maybe it turns out you're not. These aren't facts. And like thoughts, beliefs can be changed. Facts can't. So let's pick some helpful beliefs. I am an important member of the team. I am calm under pressure. We're less likely to change our values as these are the rules we've been brought up by, and we usually keep these all our lives. A belief is something like, it's important to play fair. Team members should look out for each other. It's not right to let people down. It's right that team members should arrive on time. I should attend all the coaching sessions. Those are values. But beliefs are something that are much, much easier to change. So when somebody does something that doesn't fit with your values, it can be hard to let it go, and it can cause frustration and anger. So, for example, a lot of youngsters get quite frustrated and angry in their sports because perhaps somebody has broken a value that they hold to be true, like fairness or kindness or honesty or anything like that. Maybe they did something in the game and they're saying that they didn't, and your value is that you tell the truth, then you're going to get very angry when somebody does something that's against that value. So, I know that, one isn't supposed to be angry, but, give some kindness to yourself. It's understandable that you will be angry in that situation, but one just has to, bear in mind that, not everybody's values are the same. So when somebody, you can get quite angry in that situation, it's different from a belief because it sits deeper in our soul. It's something that makes us who we are. So that's quite hard to change. A fact is something that's agreed by all. It can be proved and it isn't going to change. So, for example, sadly, the score, the ball going in the net when you're serving or not going in the net when you're trying to score a goal in football. The result is pretty much a fact. So neuro of NLP is everything in your mind. Your brain wants a clear instruction. It doesn't want to have to figure out what you want. So tell it. You've had a look at thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that don't help you and learnt how to reframe them. You've looked at them from another angle and turned them into helpful beliefs. You've learnt how to anchor better beliefs to replace those you don't want. Well done. So let's go on to linguistic, which is what you say, the L of NLP. It's the words we use, what we actually say, those that we say out loud and those we say to ourselves, how we say it. Do you speak to yourself inside your head in a cross way, a stern way, an angry way? Do you pitch it high? Do you pitch it low? Is it quiet? Is it loud? How do you talk to yourself? And your body language, how is that? Is it warm and friendly? Is it cold and distant? And are your body movements open or closed? So think about sort of how you talk to yourself and then think, would you talk to your friend like that? If you don't like what you hear, control your controllables and say it differently. Check that what you're saying is helpful. So you may need to change the wording. Change it so that it sounds encouraging. If you wanted to encourage your teammate, what would you say? And now say that to yourself. If you want to motivate them, say if they feel disheartened, they've had a look at the opposition and think, oh no, we're never going to win. Motivate them. Yeah, this is the time we're going to win. Yeah, we'll show them. Be positive. We're going to play our best game. Be empowering. You can do this. So what have you changed? Listen to the new words. How do you feel? Do you have words or phrases that seem to work well in specific situations? Make a note of them. And make sure that you don't use any don'ts. Don't think about pink elephants. Whoops, you've just thought about a pink elephant. So think about what you do want. Think about what you want to achieve. Think about where you want to go with your game. Think about how you express that in your body language, communicating that enthusiasm and encouragement to your teammates and also to yourself and to your body, to get your body and mind working really well together. And coaches, anybody involved in, dads helping out with the coaching, PE coaches, sports coaches, teachers, and so on. Please tell kids what they're doing well. Focus on what they've done right, what you thought was great about how they played, and what you want to see even more of. And that's the way the child's mind works, the young person's mind, the adult's mind. It's basically how all of us, how our minds work. We want to know what we've done well so we can do it again and do more of it. And lastly, the P. The P of NLP is about programming. It's what we do again and again, our habits, our patterns. Even when it doesn't work, we often repeat them. We often repeat the same actions. And we think, oh, maybe this time will work. Maybe this will work better. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So what are your programs? What do you do time and time again? What are those things that you keep doing and end up saying, oh no, I always do that? What could you do differently? Are you willing to make a change? There's a technique called the tote, which is a model that works like a loop. So you start with the T, which is to test, decide what you're going to try. O, operate, try it. T, test, did it work? Yes or no? If it did, exit, do it again next time. If it didn't, go back and test something else and continue until you can exit. So this NLP is basically about choices. It's about not getting stuck in a rut of a pattern that doesn't work. And this not only applies to sports, it applies to life, doesn't it? It applies to what you do at school, what you do at work, what you do at home. So give yourself choices by questioning the beliefs that you have about that situation, how you're talking to yourself, how you're encouraging yourself, and do more of what you're doing well. So in summary, NLP is all about controlling your controllables by focusing on what you do want, telling your brain what you do want, changing how you think, changing how you believe, how you feel, what you say, how you talk to yourself and others, your body language, your posture, and you keep changing until you get the results you want, focusing on what's working well. So I then give you an opportunity at the end of that chapter, that's chapter 1, by the way, of engaging NLP and EFT for sports. I give you a space there to write down what you've learnt from the chapter so that you can refer to it. So if you'd like to buy that book, Engaging NLP and EFT for Sport by me, Judy Bartkowiak, have a look on Amazon, ask for it in your bookshop, at the library, maybe get your school to get a copy, because I guess it's quite useful in all sorts of aspects of schoolwork as well as in sports. And yes, it's on Amazon, and it's also, of course, on my website, where you can also get additional things like free worksheets and things like that. So my website is Judy, Judy, Bartkowiak, BARTKOWIAK.com. And if you'd like me to come in and speak to your class at school, or your team, or to make do a sort of some sort of coaching over Zoom, then just get in touch, and I'd love to hear from you.